Yes, as it happens, I'm familiar with Grigorescu's work from mid-70s. I was still a student when his work was circulating in various circles, and he was one of the very few artists in Romania at that time who were curious about other media than painting and drawing and modeling. Uh, Photography and film were quite exotic at that time in Romania, but probably not only. And therefore, Grigorescu himself was quite exotic for the people in our circles. Moreover, what characterized his media approach at that time, and what remained actually later on, I would say a brand quality of his work, is his polemic approach to technology, which is actually extended in a polemic approach to everything, basically. Ion Grigorescu is a sort of a bum of visual arts. He's playing the role of the homeless, of the marginal. He is always, approaching any image he's producing with a sort of, sadness, material sadness. Everything is in decay. Everything is approximate. Everything is not the way we are used to see things to be, which is funny because if you think about the 1970s, end of the 60s, 1970s, when he was a young, very active, very productive artist, there was not so much of a pristine reality around us, at least not in Romania, but also worldwide. And still, Grigorescu was polemical towards the finitude, the finishing, the beauty of art making. And I think this is substantial to him. There is a sort of I don't know, cosmic sadness to the way he's working. And I think at the same time, there is also a kind of, I don't know, cynicism in front of, the decay and disappearance of matter. People are matter, but also cities are matter, countries, everything is substance, which is supposed to transform itself. And I think this kind of cosmic sadness and cynicism imprinted Ion Grigorescu's work. That being said, the way he looks at the universe is completely horizontal. He is interested in politics, he is interested in religion, he is interested in his own body, he is interested in the body of the city, he is interested in concepts like family, like work, like economics. He has very precise and sometimes naive and funny, but always very, stimulating views about the economics of human beings. So he is a very, very peculiar character, and I'm subjectively positioned. And for me, Ion Grigorescu's work is always about him as a human being and as an artist and as a colleague. So for me, it's very hard to extract myself from this perspective. But at the same time, I think that this is a very correct perspective, because I think that without understanding the human being, you cannot understand the world, because probably I said it before, Ion Grigorescu is a profoundly narcissistic personality. And that might sound diminishing, but it is not. Narcissus is a honorable and tragic character, which is all about love and about the illusions life is offering us. And he is a narcissistic character, but at the same time, he is a fighting character who fights with his own image, even in his films, who is contemplating himself, but at the same time, he submits himself to torture. And there is a beautiful film which is not really a film, is a small piece of footage. He showed, insignificantly in his solo participation in Venice Biennale in the Romanian Pavilion. It was a very small thing, where he is trying to go like a flash, start in the block starts of a athletic path, because he's been a quite competitive sportsman in his youth, and he's trying to start a run, and then he collapses because a muscle snapped, and he is not anymore the young athlete that he was. He is still fit, but he is old, and this is very much about failure, and also about anger concerning that failure. So, those things are there from the beginning. I mean, a dialogue with Ceausescu is a failure. First of all, as a film, it's a failure. What's the dialogue? There is no dialogue. What are those curtains of text saying? Nobody knows. I mean, everybody's is making a quote about the people can, if they cannot have the power, they can criticize. Okay, blah, blah, blah. But there is a big text there. Nobody knows about it because you can't see it in video. You can't see Ion Grigorescu's texts in his videos. And that's very irritating. And I'm pretty sure that he likes the idea that it's very irritating. On the other hand, in Masculine Feminine, you have this beautiful body, that young man exploring himself obsessively. But at the same time, there is a big sadness in it, because you have these aesthetics of the black and white and of the approximation of 8mm film, which is transposed and transposed again and again. And it's again about decay. It's again about decay. It's obsessively sexual. There is a lot of sexuality in his work, but it's one which is charged with melancholy and with the feeling of disappearance. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm very happy that we will present at least some of his films as part of this retrospective of experimental films from Romania, from the age of the communist regime. So, Mr. Călin Dan, thank you very much for sharing your knowledge and your perspective on Ion Grigorescu's works.